It's approaching 20 years since Cristiano Ronaldo made his debut for Portugal. Since then, they've won the European Championships, the Nations League, reached the final of the Euros in their home country, as well as the semi-finals of the World Cup. But is this competition one too many for the 37-year-old, or another opportunity to prove his critics wrong once again?
Hello there and welcome to Football Now, coming to you from Stadium 974, where Portugal will kick off their World Cup campaign in November. Now, with a population of just over 10 million people, it's not exactly the biggest country, but as a footballing nation, they've been punching above their weight for some time. On the coaching side of things, Jose Mourinho is widely regarded as one of the most successful managers of all time. He's known as the special one. And on the pitch, Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, one of the most famous and successful players of all time as well. For Ronaldo, the end game may well be in sight. So can he exit in style?
And obviously, he's by far the best football player we've ever had. He's done more for Portugal than any other player. He's won the Euros. He's put Portugal on the map. He has the fuel, he has the fitness, he has the drive. Now it's up to him. This summer was crazy, and for him trying to get out of Manchester, not being able to. Emotionally, I don't see him in a good place at the moment. He's in a rough patch, but also being Ronaldo, I believe that these current failures are exactly the kind of fuel he needs to be able to shine when the time comes. Now, if that will happen, it will obviously be one of his greatest achievements ever.
Now, Portugal are far from just a one-man team. In fact, the Manchester influence doesn't just end with Ronaldo, as United's Bruno Fernandes and City's Bernardo Silva, João Cancelo and Ruben Dias are all likely to feature in Qatar. So who exactly could make that starting 11 next month?
The team itself is pretty much picks itself at the moment, barring a few injuries. So Diogo Costa in goal is a young keeper, sort of taking the place of Rui Patricio in recent times. And then defensively, you got João Cancelo, Ruben Dias, then either one of Pep or Danilo Pereira. If both are fit, it'll be Pep, but he's in his later years and injuries are taking a toll on his body, basically. He's not featuring as much for his club side, Porto, so it could be Danilo Pereira. And then left back, Nuno Mendes. The defensive sort of pivot is expected to be Ruben Neves and William Carvalho. And then the three in front of that, you've got is Bernardo Silva, who's played primarily as a winger for Portugal as opposed to central midfield as he is for Manchester City. Bruno Fernandes in the sort of number 10, and then possibly Diogo Jota on one side. And then Cristiano Ronaldo up front. The likes of Rafael Leao have got until the World Cup to continue his brilliant form. João Felix, players like that. But the starting 11 with Fernando Santos is usually a little bit more conservative, shall we say.
Now, Portugal certainly won't be lacking experience here in Qatar. As well as Ronaldo and the 39-year-old Pepe is their 68-year-old coach, Fernando Santos. 8 years and counting, he's been in charge of the Portuguese. He is their longest-serving manager.
Fernando Santos, he prefers a cautious approach, especially in the big tournaments. In qualifying, we have brilliant matches from the national team, but when the big tournaments come, it's a results-first approach. We're dreaming of the World Cup, but at this stage, I believe it's just a dream. Like in the Euro 2016, Fernando Santos, he said he wanted to win the tournament, and in the end, he came home with a cup.
Yeah, great stuff indeed. Right then, as you can probably tell, here we are in the middle of the desert. The reason being, we're here to meet over 100 Portuguese fans that have come all the way here to take part in a local Qatari culture.
We were invited to collaborate with the dune riders, and they are giving us a lesson on how to drive in the desert. How exciting is that?
Go ahead.
Did you find the way up here, or?
That's what I'm scouting right now. Qatar is filled with some beautiful dunes. It's one of the best ways to see nature out here. In fact, you can't get to the most beautiful places in Qatar without a four-wheel drive. So we end up driving over the dunes to get to those places.
So today we had 43 cars enrolled, 162 Portuguese fans. that enrolled for this desert trip. So it's a huge group. It's going to be a huge convoy.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. Although they live in Qatar, some of them, they've never been here. So it's like going to Rome and not seeing the Pope.
Yeah, it is. Inland sea is always a special place, combination of the desert and the sea. You know, in combining this experience also with the Portuguese football fans, you know, it's amazing.
So the sun has set here on the Portuguese fans' trip to the desert. They're ready for the World Cup, but are the team? Not long to go until we find out. That is us just about out of time here at Stadium 974. Do let us know at home what you think of Portugal's chances using the hashtag #FootballNowPortugal. There'll be plenty more World Cup preview content coming to you over the next month or so here in Doha. We'll see you next time for more Football Now.